Hi, I'm Ryan Rose, and I get to travel the country helping owners with challenging horses. And I'm out to prove that these challenging horses actually want to do what we want them to do if we can present it to them in the right way, using clear communication and building a connection to our idea. Let's get to it. So today we're going to be working with Millie and Jessica, and Millie has started getting aggressive at feeding time, and this is kind of a common habit that can come up, and so we're going to have Jessica tell you a little bit more about what's going on.
Hi, my name is Jessica, and I have a 2-year-old mare named Millie. I asked Ryan to come out here because Millie's been showing very dangerous food aggression behavior that I would like to stop. She decided to bite at the collarbone, shoulder, and a little marks on the forehead of an elderly woman who takes care of the horses in the morning. So she was dropping the hay down, and she was far enough from Millie and Tuff, so she thought it was okay to put some hay over the fence for the other horses when Millie went after her. She's also been showing some aggressiveness in her stall as well. When you would try to put grain in, normally she will put the grain and hay down right away, so all the horse has to do is walk right in, but we are trying to stop that. I have tried things to stop this by having no food in her stall when she comes in, bringing her in, letting her wait for like 5 to 10 minutes. Then I'll put her grain in first, but I'll have her in a corner where she has to wait in order for me to dump it and go out of the stall. Then when she gives me the cue and puts her head down and looks at me, then I'll give her the reward by going to her grain. It's been working so far. She does wait. The problem she's having though is when you take the halter off, she will just run straight to her grain bin. So I'm trying to stop that.
After hearing what Jessica's been dealing with Millie, I really want to see firsthand what's actually happening with feeding and see if there's something we can change about how they're doing that. We're going to get started here with Jessica and Millie, and we kind of became clear that the horse is mostly aggressive around feeding time, that you've been doing some groundwork with her in hand, and that's going pretty well. So it's kind of isolated to feeding time. And this is a really common thing where a lot of horses, they get aggressive because we throw the hay and then we leave. And then sometimes the horse walks up with their ears back or with an attitude of, I'm driving the human off the hay. And it gradually, if this happens day after day, right, we feed them 2-3 times a day sometimes, it builds in and gets stronger and stronger of a pattern. And you can see she's kind of hovering around the gate here, ready to go. And I do believe that this, in order to do a good job with this horse, because she associates it so strongly with feeding time, I need to fix it at feeding time. I think we could take her in the arena, we could do lots of groundwork, and it would indirectly help it all, but I think I wouldn't still fully trust her at feeding time. So what we're gonna start with is, I'm gonna actually bring the hay out with me, and even though I have the hay in my hand, I'm gonna own my space with the flag. And so I'm gonna teach her that from my arm's length away, she has to stay out of this bubble, or even further if she wants to, but at minimum, she has to stay out of there. And if she doesn't, I'm gonna get really noisy with this. I do have one concern about the flag, which is this flag is not a good tool if I need to touch her with it. This is more of a visual, bringing the flag up, and it's a big energy. So I'm hoping that she's responsive enough to it. The other option would be to have like a more solid stick that I could like touch her on the nose with or something like that. But we'll see if this can be a way to start, and we'll just kind of see how it goes from here. So what I'm going to do is, for me, my safety starts here. You can see they're hovering around the gate, and it wouldn't take much for them to either open this gate because it's not latched right now, but there's a lot of risk of a horse squirting through the gate here, right, just to get the hay. So I'm just going to see what it would take. Now, she didn't respond to the energy. You saw he got away right away. She tested it a little bit, so I actually had to touch her on the nose with the flag. Nothing major. But now you can see how much safer it already is for me to enter in here. So that one little move of me driving her off the gate, keep in mind she doesn't know me, right? Oh. So she gets relief by moving away from me. I don't put any pressure on. When she comes towards me, oh, see, that time she was respectful and she stopped, and they're standing at attention. This is what I'm looking for. See here, she's thinking about coming in again. So now I'm going to take a step towards her and I'm going to go own her space. Now I did that quickly with the flag so that it had a little more energy versus me doing it really slowly. It's critical that when there's an opportunity where she's thinking about pushing me off, that I can own that space. So I'm going to get where this is kind of a funnel here. So I'm just going to drive out. Now you can see they're actually moving off my energy right here. And I'm just going to throw the hay down. And I'm just going to ask them to just stand at attention and just be respectful of this. So you can see I got a little buck you there from the idea of me driving them off. I'm not chasing them. I'm owning this space. This is for a horse that's become aggressive, this is by far the most palatable way for them to say, okay, all I have to do is just stand here and wait. You know, it's easy with a horse that's aggressive to jump in and try to put a halter on them and start teaching them to move the shoulders and back up and circle and change directions and all these things that are good things to do. But at a base level, the alpha horse in here is going to own space and drive the other horses off while they munch on the hay, and they're gonna keep them out there until they give them permission to come in. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna retreat, and I'm gonna give them permission to come in. And can you see how she's being a good girl there and waiting? So I don't think this would take too many times, but at my place, and you can see they're not offended by that. They came right back to it. They're not afraid. You know, because we don't want to scare them either, because they can go from aggression to fear very quickly if we do too much. So we're going to add another flake of hay to the pasture, because I want the horse to understand that it's not about her eating the hay, it's about her giving ground and letting me own the space, as her learning that the human is the alpha horse. So why don't you come with me, and you're just going to hide behind me, okay? Okay. And we're just going to go own the space by their hay and drive them off. So I'm bringing my energy up, and I'm saying I wouldn't be here if I were you. You can go anywhere else, but don't be here. And again, you saw I pinned my ears back at them, and I said, and horses are very perceptive to our intention, and that comes from here, right? Just like if I look at you, this is a lot more pressure, right, than if I'm standing like this. Okay. Would you agree? Mm-hmm. This is pressure. Yeah. This is not, even if I'm not changing anything. You know, but if I give them more of a look and I kind of get more of a position, so now we're going to retreat. We'll let them come back to the hay. So did you see how easy that was?
Yeah.
Yeah? Do you feel like that's something you could try now?
Sure.
Yeah? All right. Let's walk over there. Bring your energy up, and I'm here to back you up. Life up. Just think I'm the big boss mare in here. You guys stay away. And if they lag a little bit, give them a. So why don't you go ahead and give them a with it. There you go. I think you got a little more in you though. I think you could mean it a little more. Do you think you could you do that a little harder next time if you had to? Yes, okay. Because I want you to mean it. So let's face this way, and show me if you're gonna drive, you know, this just me. Let's say me. I'm the horse. I'm here. And I want to see you bring your energy up. Don't hit me. But just bring that energy up and just wave that stick like, if I don't get out of the way, who knows what kind of pressure is coming at me. Well, again, without touching. So just you're allowed one step, one big, scare me off my spot. I don't know. I wasn't intimidated. Try it again. Bigger. Mean it. I think there's more under the hood there. I'm still here. You haven't pushed me off yet. You get bigger. Mean it. Oh, there we go. That last one had a little bit of like, she means business this time. Did that feel a little different? Yeah. Did you feel like you got in that like, okay, he needs to move this time? Does that make sense? Yeah. So when you go in there, you can't be walking into the paddock with, I hope she doesn't come after me today. I hope this goes okay. You have to walk in here of, I own this. This is my spot. And now, can you also see how they've kind of given up on the idea too? We're not going after them. We were doing it this way. But they're like, I'm over it. So you can see that with the right approach and the right intention, pretty easy to drive her off. I would do a very similar thing in the stall. And so I think what we should do now is we should halter her up, and we're going to take her over to the stall and see how that goes in there. Sound like a plan? All right. So what I'd like to do actually is give her some grain, if that's okay. Probably quite a bit, so we can practice, not a lot, a pound of it or something, so that we can, more than a handful,
Yeah.
so that we can practice. And we're going to play the same game in here. We're just going to go a little slower because now she kind of knows. It was good that she had more room to move. But now we're going to ask her to stand at the back of the stall when we put feed in. And actually, I'm going to show you something kind of neat. Is there a way to put is the feed can, when you feed, is it in a scoop or a can or something?
Yeah, we have a little can.
Little metal can.
Well, plastic.
Okay. Is it noisy at all? Could it be noisy if you shake it?
Yeah.
Okay, let's get that set up. All right. So what happens normally at feeding time, and you can tell me if this is different here, but most of the time we open the door, the horse crowds us trying to get it, and we just fight with them. Hey, excuse me, get out of my way, and then we dump the grain and then we leave. And the whole time the horse is pushy and thinking about being aggressive. Now if you get a horse that's as confident as she is, it can turn into aggression. And not because the horse is really wants to be dominant over people, just because she's just trying to get to the feed first. She's like, hey, the faster you leave here, the quicker I get to my feed. So it's not going to be as strong of a problem as it might appear based on her behavior in the past. It's more so been that she's been allowed to do it. So we're going to try to reverse that pattern. And what we're going to do is the new feeding time program is hopefully going to be shake the grain, and that means go back to the back. And so instead of shake the grain, and that means paw and make all kinds of ruckus at feeding time, the new pattern is when we shake the bucket, it means go stand at the back of the stall. How does that sound?
Sounds great.
Sound like a good plan? So I'm also switching tools now. I'm going to be using this stick and string. The reason I'm doing this is the flag might be a little bit bigger energy. That's good for open spaces like out in the pasture when you're trying to make big energy and cover a whole area. Here, I just want her to take like 3 steps over there. I don't want her to get scared and run around that she can't get away from it. So I want to be a little more fair. So here we go. I'm going to open the gate here, and I'm going to shake this and drive her to the back. And then the feed gets quiet. So now she just licked and chewed. She got relief in the back of the stall, and it was from after shaking it. Okay, so now I want her to come back up. She's got the idea here. Okay, so watch here again. So now she's again a little bit away from the back here. Watch. There, retreat. So she got a little bit claustrophobic there, but again, I had to just get her to understand to go to the back there. Now, the way this works is when I shake the grain, it becomes a cue, right? And so you give them a cue, and then I reinforce it with a stick, and then she ends up there. Does that make sense? Yes. So then that kind of becomes the pattern. So start shaking it. Okay. And what we're waiting for is when you start to shake, she goes, am I supposed to be over here now? And then we know we're winning the game. You picking up what I'm putting down? Mm-hmm. Okay. So well, we got to let her stand there for a minute. I don't want to bring her back and forth. Now I'm going to draw her back in. Okay, give her a little shake. And you can shake all the way until she goes there, and then we'll take the cue off. So this is our cue. So it's important to leave the cue on until she's in the position we want her in. Then you take the cue off. Does that make sense? You wouldn't have to do it that way, but in this, when you're first teaching it, it's going to make more sense to her that way. Okay. Again, it's important we don't rush her here. We got to let her have a chance to. Oh, see, that was good that she came on her own. I'm going to go, great, come on over here. Good to see you. Give it a shake. Oh, you see what she's doing there? Do you see her start to go back? Good. There's a lick and chew. So I really think she just connected the dots there. She just got relief over there. And did you see her starting to back up there? Pretty cool, huh? So that is the initial start of it. And I mean, you could do this. You could find a way to do this at hate time too, where you have a whistle. The grain bucket, you might not want to have that. You could use it though. It'd be a consistent cue. But where I'm going to do this, and this means you need to leave. But I think you just walking in there with your energy is a fair way to ask for it out in the paddock. Okay, so let's bring her back up. So because this is a really strong pattern for Millie, we're going to have to do this a few times, make some repetitions. But as she understands it more and more, it's going to be safe for Jessica to go ahead and give it a try. Shake. Oh, is she going to make it? Oh, did you see that? High five, fist bump. All right, that was exciting, huh? Is that a pretty cool move? So now that she's getting the idea here, now we need to actually try going in the stall and delivering the feed to the bucket. Now, go ahead. What I'm going to have you do is go ahead and shake it. Okay. So that changed a little bit just because she was in a different position. She kind of learned the pattern of here and then there. So this is going to be important for you to practice several days where she's in different positions. And it doesn't matter exactly where she ends up as long as she's generally back that way. That is the part that matters more. And so here. So we've shaken it. I'm going to come in and go to feed. Keeping my eye on her. So now I'm asking her to stay there while I dump the feed. Just gave her a little bit of feed. Now I'm going to retreat out. I'm going to let her eat. Now we're going to oh, there we go. Still a little bit of, that was really unfortunate that I missed. Because that would have been a good time to correct her. So as soon as she started to pin her ears at me, see now she's telling me. Now she's telling me that she's going to come get it. There we go. Let her get relief back there. So that's like a little bit of leftover from the pattern that was there before. So we're going to teach her a new pattern, but we still have a little bit of residual. After using that pattern, we eventually got to this point. And so once she's committed to standing there, then the person can come in and feed. And we need to expect her to stand there. See, I caught it early. See, she was less committed, so we caught it earlier that time. And see, even me shaking the bucket, that sent her nose over there. Isn't that interesting? Very good. So I think that's probably a good place to finish with her for this. And what we're going to do is we're going to put the halter back on her. We're going to work with her a little bit in the arena. And maybe we'll come back and we'll do this exercise one more time. Sound like a plan? All right. So I'm really happy with where we've gotten Millie with this. Now we need to go into the arena, and I want to make sure that Jessica really understands how to own her space. So there's one exercise that's really important that I think for you to be able to do on the ground. So I'm going to give you one game. Very, very simple. There's two parts to the game, but it's one game. And the game is owning space. And there's all kinds of different ways we can ask a horse to move around us on the ground. But just at a base level, I just want to teach her that this is my space to the end of the stick. And I want her to understand that she can go out there and she can do whatever she wants out there, but she's not allowed to come any closer than the end of the stick. And because she already knows how to lunge and things like that, you can see that that was relatively easy. So now I'm going to move my location. So I'm going to go somewhere else. And now I'm going to say, this is my spot. And she's used to being led very closely, and which is okay, except for when you're doing this exercise. She needs to stay at that distance at all times. This helps the horse get to the same box that we're asking her to get to when we're on the pasture, when we're here, saying the human's claiming this space, you need to be somewhere else. The stall was extra difficult because there was no more room for her to go to move further away. Okay? Just walk. Just get your march on, and you mean business. We got a plan. We're going over here, and we're stopping. Swing the stick. Oh, now she cleared out and went over there. There you go. She's like, well, I'll just stand on the bridge. Okay, now head this way. Very good. Just walk straight, act like you're on a mission. Good deal. And I try to not let my arm get behind me because you can hurt your shoulder there. Try to keep the rope in close to your hip. You're a lot stronger here in this position. And just keep it in front. Yeah, and if you feel that hold, just hold. Okay. But you feel like you're stronger there. Yeah. Now stop. Good. Now turn towards her and walk on the line. Walk through her. Wave the stick vertically. There we go. Look where you're going. Yep. Keep that rope close to your hip so you don't get pulled on. And we're walking this way. We're walking. Good. No. Oh, turn and go the other way. Do you see her getting off the line already? Yep. Let's make sure it's not a coincidence. Let's do it again. Walk on. Turn. Walk towards her. Keep the stick down. Oh, did you see that? That was great. She really moved off your space there. So that was really good. Whoop. So we don't want her to think the answer is go around. So we can send her kind of there. I want her to kind of stay back here. So if she does that, if you can block her, it's ideal. Because pretty soon she'll figure out she just has to move off the line. That's it. That's all she has to do. She doesn't have to run off it. She just has to step over. Let's turn around. There. Do you feel her respecting your space there? Yeah. Does that feel better? Yeah. Does that help you feel a little more comfortable with her? Excellent. Let's go ahead and stop. So now I'm going to walk in. Your turn. Stick in the, probably switch hands. That way you're ready to block her over here. So just walk in. I'll be ready too. Oh, put your stick down because she's not doing anything. Just walk in. Nope, because she's where she's supposed to be. Okay. Yep, and come back out. Good job. How'd that feel? Good. Yeah? Something you can keep working on? Oh, yeah. All right. Good job, Jessica. Well, thank you so much for having me out. And keep up the good work with her. If you're running any problems, let me know.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. I think Millie did a good job here making some nice changes. It's amazing to me how adaptable horses are when we present it to them in the right way. So now let's hear what Jessica had to say about this.
So at first I was very nervous about this whole thing because I know that she can come attack me or kick at me or come and bite me, but after working with Ryan, I feel that I'm more comfortable. I just know that I have to bring more energy towards her to say, hey, back off my space.
Thanks, Jessica, for bringing us out and letting us work with your horse, Millie. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for the next one.